She handed a complete stranger her dog's leash without even looking at his face. "Please take care of her. I'll be late." Then she walked away. What she didn't know was that the man holding the leash wasn't a dog walker. He was the owner of the mansion standing behind them, a successful businessman who had spent years learning that money could solve many problems, but it could never replace compassion. Before we begin, subscribe to Kindness Library, like this video, and share your thoughts in the comments. Sometimes, the smallest moments of kindness create the biggest changes in people's lives. It was a crisp Monday morning in a quiet neighborhood outside Boston. Daniel Reed stood outside his home wearing a simple navy jacket, faded jeans, and an old pair of sneakers. To anyone passing by, he looked like an ordinary man enjoying a morning walk with his golden retriever, Charlie. Very few people in the neighborhood knew Daniel owned the large house behind him. Even fewer knew he had built a successful technology company from nothing. Daniel had money, but he rarely showed it. He believed people should be judged by how they treated others, not by the clothes they wore or the cars they drove. That morning, a woman named Sarah hurried down the sidewalk. She looked exhausted. Her coffee was spilling over the lid of the cup in her hand. Her phone kept buzzing. A folder filled with papers was tucked under her arm, and a small terrier struggled to keep up beside her. Sarah glanced at the large house, then at Daniel. She saw the dog. She saw the leash in his hand. And she made an assumption. "Excuse me," she said quickly. Daniel turned. Before he could say anything, Sarah handed him her dog's leash. "Her name is Bella. She doesn't like walking near traffic, so please keep her on the inside." Daniel blinked. "I think there's been a..." "I'll only be gone for a few hours," Sarah interrupted. "Thank you so much." And then she walked away. Daniel stood completely still. Bella sat beside him. Charlie looked at him. Daniel looked at both dogs. Then he laughed quietly. "Well, I suppose we're going for a walk." He followed Sarah from a distance, eventually finding her sitting alone on a bench several blocks away. Her shoulders were shaking. She was crying. Daniel approached carefully. "Are you okay?" Sarah looked up. Her expression changed immediately when she saw him holding Bella's leash. "Oh no." She stood up. "I am so sorry." Daniel smiled. "You thought I was the dog walker. I didn't even ask your name." "No, you didn't." Sarah looked embarrassed. "I've had a terrible morning. My car broke down, my daughter is sick, my hours were cut at work, and I have a job interview in less than an hour. I wasn't thinking." Daniel noticed the folder in her hands. "What kind of job?" "Office management." "Is it important?" Sarah gave a tired laugh. "It could determine whether I keep my apartment." Daniel didn't ask how much money she needed. He didn't offer her cash. Instead, he asked, "Do you have a way to get to the interview?" Sarah shook her head. "I'll figure something out." Daniel looked at his watch. "Your interview is in 40 minutes. She nodded. "Then let's get you there." Daniel called a driver he trusted and arranged a ride. Sarah hesitated. "I can't afford this." "You don't have to." She looked at him. "Why are you helping me?" Daniel glanced at Bella. "Because you were having a bad morning. Everyone deserves a little help sometimes." Sarah reached the interview on time. She got the job. But the story didn't end there. Several weeks later, Sarah attended a business networking event connected to her new company. She walked into the room and stopped. Daniel was standing near the stage. The host introduced him as the founder and CEO of one of the city's most successful companies. Sarah stared at him. "You?" Daniel smiled. "You finally found out." She approached him after the event. "I thought you were the dog walker." I remember. I must have looked ridiculous. You looked overwhelmed. Sarah lowered her eyes. I'll never forget what you did for me. Daniel shook his head. Then don't remember the ride. Remember how you felt when someone helped you. Sarah looked at him. What do you mean? Do the same thing for someone else. Years passed. Sarah became successful in her career. But she never forgot Daniel's words. Whenever she saw someone struggling, she helped. A coworker facing financial trouble. A single mother trying to balance work and childcare. An elderly man struggling with groceries. She stopped asking whether people deserved help. She simply asked whether she was in a position to help. And one evening, years later, Sarah saw a young woman crying outside a train station. She sat beside her. Are you okay? The woman shook her head. Sarah stayed. She listened. She helped her find a safe ride home. And before leaving, Sarah remembered the morning when she had handed a stranger a leash and walked away. A simple mistake had introduced her to a lesson she carried for the rest of her life. Kindness doesn't always arrive in dramatic moments. Sometimes it looks like giving someone a ride. Sometimes it means listening without judging. Sometimes it means helping someone preserve their dignity when they're already embarrassed. And sometimes, kindness begins when you choose to see the person behind the problem. You never know what someone is carrying. The person rushing past you might be struggling to keep their life together. The person who seems distracted might be fighting a battle you know nothing about. So before you judge someone for a mistake, give them a moment of grace. Because one small act of kindness might not change the whole world. But it could change someone's entire day. And for that person, it might be exactly what they needed.